So yes, we'll take it from there. But looking at from what we have right now, sorry, damn, dude, my sneezes. The enemy team is Echo, Moira, we have Anna, we have Diva, we have Soldier, and in your team we have Ryan, we have Sim, we have Moira, we have Genji, and we don't really know what this is. So let's just run it forward a little bit and see what we're working with here. Oh, yeah, before we start, fuck, I almost forgot. Chat, I need smiley faces in the chat. I need smiley faces. I have to. I'm sorry. It's a tradition. We have to get the smiley faces out. Just a smiley face, chat. That's all I'm asking. Subs, non-subs, lurkers, VIPs, mods, don't matter. Just a smiley face. Okay, good. You guys are listening. Good to know. Fucking awesome. Now put the number 7 in the chat. That is too a tradition. It's for good luck. Use number 7. That's all. Perfect. Thank you. That's good. That's good. Okay, you can do an 8 too if you want to. That's fine. Perfect. All right, so now I understand that you guys can hear me and everything's fine. Now, everyone at once, give me your Prime sub. No? No Primes? No Primers? Okay, well, it was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot, chat. It was worth a shot, you know? I gotta try. Anyways, let's go.
Remember this place.
You know what? That fucking works, dude. We got a 5 bomb from Nate, and we got a 1 gifter from fucking Motive. Can we get a :3 in the chat for these lovely human beings? Let's fucking go! Thank you, brothers and sisters. I appreciate you. Alright, Nate, you told me to go a little bit haram on you, so I will.
Not a Prime, but I've had this for weeks now.
Oh. Thank you, Dark Templar. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, guys. Fucking hype trains, dude, I swear. Okay, let's rewind what just happened. So, we go out. Right? We have what looks to be an entire enemy team staring us down. Okay? Now, Reinhardt is quite a difficult tank to play. Okay? It's not the easiest tank to play, but he does come equipped with the strongest shield in the game. So in this particular case, you're going to have to rely on your supports and your DPS to be able to do some damage. How do we do this? Well, obviously we don't really run out and take full damage. Now, we have to understand that the enemy team has a lot of sustained damage. And what sustained damage means is that there's a constant flow of damage flying in our face, and it's pretty high as well. The one thing that we need to be a little bit more afraid of and look at here, it's okay to, you know, pillar, like kind of like this, right? We come out of this here, we see what's going on. It's okay to kind of like pillar hop like this, you know, jiggle peek like this and throw fire strikes downrange. Now, the problem is they have a Diva, so we're probably not going to get a lot of value. But if you can get a fire strike in here on either targets, it's good. We need to build an ultimate. That's your strongest tool this game. We're going to have to build ultimate, and we're going to have to do it quick. Now, there's an alternative route to this as well. If you want them to go off high ground, you can take your team and go left side here. The only thing you have to worry about is the boot from the Diva, but other than that, it should be a pretty free walk if you want to. Now, for this particular case, we need to jiggle peek and use our shield to our advantage. What happens here is we kind of take a step out, and we just get melted. And boom, right? So I can tell you already, it's okay to throw a fire strike, but always use the shield first to take the first incoming burst damage, and then get fully healed, and then do it again. Never throw 2 Rhine strikes out like this when you have an entire team looking at you. It's never going to work. No level 2 hype train, chat. I'm about to fucking flip my table, like in that video. Okay. We have a Symmetra now, so we're forcing them off high ground. Not bad. 2 fire strikes again. Okay. I see what you wanted to do. That's okay. Yep, hold your shield up. Your Symmetra's doing a good job supplying a lot of pressure right now. That's good. Yo, Coslick with the 5 bomb. Appreciate you. Chat, :3s. Send :3s. Quick. Fucking quick! Okay. So, I can tell that you're a pretty aggressive Reinhardt at heart, and I'm okay with that. That's okay. I don't mind that at all. Rhine players are Giga Chads, so you're a Giga Chad. But let me give you a word of advice. If you want to make this work, right, we need to figure out one thing. How can we get from point A to point B without taking the least amount of damage? Okay? Right now, you're staring them straight down the barrel, right? And you're kind of opening up yourself for incredible burst damage, and you're taking a lot of damage. It's almost like 50-50 whether you're going to die or not when you send your 2 fire strikes. From now on, what I want you to do, it's completely fine at full HP to throw a fire strike downrange and put your shield up, and then take the initial burst damage, get healed to about 80%, and then throw another. I don't want to see the double fire strike anymore, okay? The higher rank that you start climbing to, the more you're going to get punished for this. I fucking lip my lips like you're a sugary donut if a Reinhardt does this to me. I'm just going to fucking mull you down like, literally like you're a sugar donut. Now, if you want to find success, and I know what rank you are, right? If you want to find success, what I would have done in your shoes is that I would have pushed the card for as long as I could, because right now, they're not bothered with touching the point, right? You have all the free range in the world, so it's on them to make a move. The pressure is on them, not you. So with that in mind, what I'd like you to do instead is I'd like you to play on the left side here, always take a look where they are at any given time, throw fire strikes down here instead, because here the D.Va's not going to eat them, right? And the chance of you hitting something and basically doing half their HP is pretty large here, because fire strike has a large hitbox. And I want you to play around this pillar. Push the payload at the same time, slowly but surely creep your way forward. Because unless they are touching the cart, we do not give a shit. Does this make sense? Chat, does this make sense? The pressure is on them, not on us. What the fuck just happened? Oh. There we go. Sorry, tabbed out. Chat, does that make sense to you as well? Okay, good. You guys are listening, I think. So in this particular case, if you want to play aggro, we play around this angle, throw fire strikes down there, and then if they want to contest, we can start swinging, because they're not going to do enough damage to you anyways, right? Start swinging, use the payload as cover, and you start swinging. You have a lot more range on your mace than you think you do. So by doing this, you're the one applying pressure, and honestly, your ultimate is a lot scarier than anything in the enemy team. So you got to think about the advantages, right? There's no one in the enemy team who's going to be able to stand against your shatter. So if you can build shatter and they want to touch the point one by one, so be it. Play the smart game. Be smart about it, right? And if they're going to continue staying under the bridge, we can just play here. And then when the payload gets a little bit closer, fuck it. Go for a little charge right here instead. Does that make sense? So instead of playing out in the open and taking all this damage and giving them ult charge, why don't you play it smarter and then you send a sneaky fucking charge down here instead? You do this, chances are you're going to hit someone, and then all of a sudden, you're in their fucking face, and what are they going to do about it? Well, they might burst you down, but for what it's worth, your entire team now has complete open space to do whatever they want. You're literally standing in the middle of the enemy team. They're going to have to focus you, because you're going to be able to do too much damage. If all of them are looking at you, pull your shield up. Pull your fucking shield up, move backwards, or move towards your team. But either way, you created a lot of space, you took that space, and if you're sort of behind them, they have to look at you, and your entire team can do damage. So instead of just running it down range like this, I don't recommend it, but if you want to play aggressive, I would always find the best way to do so, and it's doing a little bit more sneaky like this, where your charges can get a kill. So try and keep that in mind a little bit more. But we'll resume here, and we'll take a look what happens. Okay. Protecting your mercy, not bad. Okay, so here is another example of what we just talked about. I don't like this, all right? I'm going to explain to you why. So, we protected the mercy. That's good. I don't mind that at all. However, I could tell that you wanted the D.Va more than anything else in the world, right? And the way I could tell is because you drop your shield and you start swinging right here. And you swing, and you swing, and you swing, and you swing, and once you're up in her face, then you decide to shield. Now, let's reverse that instead. You want to get the D.Va, it's okay to throw a fire strike, but for the love of God, hold your shield up, okay? Hold your shield up as you're walking towards her, okay? We don't want to walk up to her, take 80% of her HP, and then hold her shield, okay? We don't want to do that. When you're at this range, I would rather you be at full HP and start swinging. Does that make sense? Because right now, what you're doing is you're taking your entire HP walking up to her. And then while you're at her, you have a soldier behind you, right? And you're standing here at 30% HP. There's a chance that the soldier just puts a right click in your back, finish you off with a couple shots, and now you're dead. So this positioning made no sense. So I would rather you walk up with your shield, and if you really want the D.Va, then put yourself in a position where you can still get healed, but you can't get damaged by the soldier. I mean, the D.Va is standing right here. She's not going anywhere, right? So why are we opting in, standing right in the open, where we can get shot from there, we can get shot from there, and now we can get shot from here? So by walking in here, right, you will be able to get healed from your supports, no problem. You'll block the damage from Soldier because he can't do damage to the walls, and it's just you versus the D.Va. The D.Va has no healers, but you have your healers looking at you. You understand what I'm saying? So right here, you could have actually isolated the D.Va, kill her, and win the fight. So I would rather you either one, you charge in, or you walk up with your shield. Don't ever take 80% of your HP walking to your target, because I could tell that you were tunnel visioning right now. So I kind of just want to point that out. Okay, you're trying to look for stragglers. Also, you do know that you can stop your charge from happening, right? If you miss a target, try and not go past them too much. Try and make it a habit to stop yourself from charging if there's no other targets on that side. You know what I'm saying? Try and keep that in mind a little bit. Also, your Mercy is so I can battle Mercy down the Soldier. Giga Chad. Okay, now we gotta be a little bit careful. We don't... Yep, that's good. Okay, that Sim Shield is something. Okay. So here, right? Here, you kind of did what I wanted you to do. But my main issue is that we're not using what the map is giving us, right? We could have accomplished exactly what we wanted to accomplish by essentially walking through here instead, right? Walking through here stops 80% of the damage that just happened to you and your shield, right? And it also puts you in a great spot because once you're here, you can just open up with a charge, right? Maybe you get a kill, maybe you don't. But for all intents and purposes, we need to get better at using what the map is giving us. And right now, we're not, right? We're standing in the middle of a road with tons of obstacles around us, but we're just going straight down mid, right? I don't like that. That's a bad habit. We don't want to do that. Instead, from now on, I want you to think before you walk in. I want you to think about, how do I get from point A to point B, which point A is where you're at and point B where you want to go, and take the least amount of damage possible, right? Right now, we're literally just finding the fastest way to point B. Not always the greatest choice, okay? So here, for example, you could have walked out from this way, taken less damage, recharge your shield, move here again. If they're doing a lot of damage to you, move to the left, right? Wait a little bit, and then you have a free charge, right? It's all about minimizing the amount of damage that you're taking getting to point B, right? And right now, we're not doing that. Right now, we're just trying to find the fastest way. But the fastest way isn't always the most ideal, right? It just isn't. Sometimes, in my opinion, if no one is stopping the cart from moving, there is, and I need to say this, not just you, but everyone else in chat as well. If you're an attacker on a hybrid map, chat, if no one is stopping the cart, there is literally no need to be aggressive. Understood, chat? If no one is stopping the cart, you can play passive on the cart until they touch it, right? Any movement on the cart is good. If we go forward and we die, we effectively stopped the free push, okay? You understand what I'm saying? So when you're up against a team like our boy Nate here, and they're refusing to touch the cart, there's no need to get overzealous. There's no need to get over aggressive because no one is stopping the cart. Essentially, this motherfucker has been running free ever since we got it from the second point, right? So if they're not going to stop it, then we don't need to push. We can just stand on the cart and play it safe until they come to us, right? We don't have to bring the fight to them. It's the other way around. The pressure is on them, not on us. So try and keep that in mind as well. Classic, you're gifting a little bit too many subs right now, dude. Alright? It's time to calm the fuck down. Chat, time to stop! No more! No more! Okay, we have a soldier on top of us right now. We know there's a soldier there. Yeah. He's gonna die for it. Okay, we can push the cart. He's behind you right now. Oh. Not sure what we wanted to try and do there. Here I want you to jiggle peek. I want you to jiggle peek. No need to push here. Just stand around the wall, throw fire strikes downrange. Yep, here we go. No need to go forward. No need to go forward here at all. We can wait a little bit. Okay, well, we're going forward. Okay, shield the Diva Bomb. Okay. Okay, it's a work in progress. Alright, now we have Shatter. I want to see how you utilize it. Now it's time for a big fat fucking Shatter, dude. A big 19-incher, dude. Straight in their face. Let's see it. You can take the teleport if you want. Oh. So, what I would have liked to see, right? Personally, what I would have liked to see, right, is that there are several ways we can get a fat fucking Shatter, right? I'm going to point them out for you right now, okay? Obviously, doing it straight down mid like this is not always ideal. I would rather you be a little bit closer, because when you do Shatters at this range, the one thing that you have to understand is that you give the enemy team enough time to react to it. That's bad. We don't want that, okay? We do not want the enemy team to know that we're Shattering, okay? I bet you that both the Diva and the Baptiste, you were very well aware that you had Shatter and it was coming, okay? We need to be less telegraphed. And what I mean by that is we have several ways that we can engage with Shatter, okay? One thing is, they're probably expecting you to Shatter right here, okay? So why are we giving them what they want? Instead, they pop a window, okay, put left side. You just wait it out. You literally have 4 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock. Why do we even care? You know? If the Baptiste is going to send a wall down here mid, let them waste it. Let them fucking waste it. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? It's going to be up for 5 more seconds, and then you can pop out. You know what I'm saying? Why are we Shattering here? Well, one thing is, we have a Symmetra as well. So your Symmetra is dead. We can wait for the teleport to set out a fatty Shatter as well. That's one thing. Another, if you really, really want to get technical with it, when the window is right there, you can go left side here, charge stairs up, and then move your cursor to the right, and boom. It will hit the soldier. It will probably hit the Baptiste, because the Baptiste probably moved up. There's a lot of ways that you can activate the Shatter, right? But doing it here is probably less than ideal, IMO. I like the way you think about it, all right? Don't get me wrong. I know what you wanted to do, but the way we got to think about the way we use Rhine Ultimate is that we want to be as least predictable as possible, right? Think about it this way. If you're playing, let's say this, Nate. This is going to fucking tick it down real well. If you're playing Baptiste there, wouldn't you want the enemy Rhine to just use Shatter from maximum distance so you know it's coming? Wouldn't you want to know that? You would love if the enemy Rhine did that to you, right? So how would it feel annoying? The most annoying part would be if the Rhine actually knew how to set up Shatters properly, right? So if the enemy Reinhardt if that's an enemy Reinhardt and you're playing the Baptiste right now, wouldn't it feel kind of nerve-wracking that he's holding his ultimate and you're not really sure when it's coming, right? The more unpredictable that you are as a player, the scarier the enemy team gets for you. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to point that out, that I would rather you be a little bit less predictable, because right now we're not. We're being very telegraphed, and telegraphed is wrong. I don't like telegraphed, right? We need to be a little bit more unpredictable. So I would have preferred, if you played up here by the wall, we have enough time to wait for the window, right? When the window is out, we push up to the payload. Again, continue pushing the payload until someone decides to stop you. When they stop you, boom, shatter them, and then you win the fight, right? It's that simple. Why force it? Why are we forcing it right now? Because you can walk up after the window is gone and force them away from the payload. And if they want to contest you, then that's when you shatter. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully that makes sense to chat as well. Little bit scary. Little bit scary there, but yeah.
My Journey continues.
Pro tip, if you figure out the timing, this is a Giga Chat move, by the way. Chat, this is a Giga Chat. Let's get a Giga Chat in chat, dude. This is like the equivalent of saying fuck you with the middle finger. Hard. Fuck that echo? Yeah, damn right. There was a way we could have done this better, though. There's a way we could have done this better, and I'll explain it to you. You can actually cancel charge prematurely, right? So if you canceled your charge just before you went over the edge, right? If you did that, you would have killed the echo and survived yourself, right? I want to point that out, that the only reason we will ever suicide here is if we're playing against a character that can actually get away, like can actually, you know, get up from low ground, or for this scenario. So for example, if you're charging a Pharah, or if you're charging like an Echo, you know, not in an actual ultimate form, or if you're charging like a Widow, for example, all these characters have ways to get up of a bad situation. If you want to suicide then, by all means, that's okay. But if we're doing this, there is no need for us to suicide with the Echo, because she does not have a way to get out of the situation once you get her over the edge, right? So that's there's a couple characters that you would want to actually suicide with, and that's okay, but this was not one of them, right? So what I would like you to do instead is that, I don't know if you don't know how to stop the charge or whatever, I can explain it to you afterwards if you really need. Why the fuck are we what the fuck? Never mind. Yeah, you can stop your charge prematurely before you go over the edge. Would have resulted in you killing the Echo, but you would have survived, and it would have been a 5v4 on the point. How do I cancel? You press it a second time. That's it. So whatever button you use to charge, you press it again, and you stop it. It's that simple. Basically, you just press the keybind again. That's it. Super simple stuff. Okay, there's a soldier there. You're well aware. This is good. Not an ideal charge. I would have held a shield and pressure instead. Okay, okay. Let's talk about this, all right? I really, really want to help you because I know I can, all right? So I want to talk about the good things. The good things is you held your shield. You didn't start swinging straight away. You're pressing their supports and the Echo into a corner. I like this. It gives your team space, and it also eliminates the soldier from being a potential threat. The soldier is currently at 40% HP. He's going to die. And you're basically holding your shield, and you're pushing them into a corner. I like this. Now, chat, what goes wrong here? Everything up to this point was good. But what went wrong here, chat? After this particular point, what goes wrong? Let's see if chat has an idea. Perfect. We got it straight away. We're chasing Echo. Okay? So we're chasing the only character, Nate, out of the 3 characters that were in front of us right now, the 3 heroes that were here, we're chasing the only one who can actually escape from our chase. Okay? This is the issue. What you did up to this point is completely fine, and I like this. This is good. You're taking space. But we do not chase the Echo, right? She is literally the only one who can escape, okay? Baptiste can't get away from you. He can only jump upwards, but you'll still get him, right? And as for the other support, Moira, yeah, a little bit more tough. But in this scenario, we're chasing the only character who can actually get away from our damage, right? So we want to focus the Baptiste in this case, right? So that's the main issue. She's just going to fly up in the air and start bursting you down. So we don't give a fuck about her. Unless we know her cooldown is up and she can't actually do it. But the only problem here is I like what you did, but we need to chase the Baptiste, not the Echo, okay? He cannot get away from you. This is a terrible position for him to be in. But what ends up happening is that he gets away for free because we decide to charge. Way late, by the way. So this charge is not going to do anything. We're not going to accomplish a single thing by this charge right here. The only thing that you're doing is that the Baptiste gets away for free and the Echo flies away. Right? So while we spend all this time charging, you could have just gone for the Baptiste, he 100% would have died, and you would have been in a 5v3 situation. And we probably would have been able to push the payload in to win, right? So I just want to point that out, that I like what you did up to this point, but the charge was a waste, and the fact that we didn't hammer down the Baptiste, that was a misplay on our part. The Echo can always get away. So we try and keep that in mind a little bit more. Still a bit unfortunate that we died there. Alright, we're swapping. What are we swapping to?
I still have some fight in me.
A better world is
Vinton.
possible today.
Vinton.
Transporting the payload.
It's time for Vinton. Okay. I can say this for certain. The dynamic just changed, okay? We're no longer playing Ryan. We don't have a 1200 shield that we can hold up at any given time. So how do we want to approach this? There's two ways, right? One, I like Winston players who essentially waits for anyone on your team to basically make a move, or you can be the person who makes a move, right? If you take a more of a passive role, if you're a little bit more submissive, if you're a little bit more submissive, I want you to play behind the payload, right? Unless something happens, okay? And for this particular reason, I like playing behind the payload and playing left and right, you know, going for some snipes with the right click or for whatever reason. I'm okay with this, okay? Or you can be a little bit more dominant, Vinton, all right? And basically, you jump in and you drop your shield and you play around your shield and you shield dance, and you should have enough time to jump out as well, right? Right now, I would like to see you play a little bit more of a passive role. Play behind the payload. Don't try and take as much damage. It's okay to basically give your supports ultimate. That's okay. But for all intents and purposes, right now, we have a Nanoblade coming up. So we kind of want to play passive until that Nanoblade happens, okay? So you play behind the payload. You try and take as least damage as possible. And as soon as the Genji starts drawing his blade, you jump in on the supports. And boom. There you go. Should be an easy fight. Let's see what happens. Okay, right now we're playing behind. Oh, here we go. Okay. Moira priority target. In this particular case, Nate, I'm gonna say it one more time. You're nano boosted. You're doing a fuck ton of damage. Okay. We're not focusing the diva. Okay. It's always support, DPS, then tank. Always, always. If you're nano boosted and you do this much damage, okay, there are two tips I'm gonna give. Actually, chat. You know what? You know what? We're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna explain to you after the game. But it always goes support, DPS, tank. Okay, that's how you want to do it. When you're nano boosted, we never go for the tank in that position, right? We want to get rid of the small ants first. Okay, we want to crush them. Okay, that's the priority target. I like what you did when you focused on the Ana and then you went for the soldier, but then we jumped back on the point and we went for the diva when there is a support literally running in front of us, right? The support is the main target, not the diva. I just want to push that out. You know? Use your shield. Another thing is, if you really want to be fucking skilla killer, when you know that the enemy diva is dropping her bomb, drop your shield. Always drop your shield. Give whoever's on the payload with you an opportunity to survive the bomb, right? Because if this diva managed to get 1 or 2 kills with her bomb and she gets back into her mech, this fight is over, right? So there's no reason for us to hold our cooldown, right? So in this particular case, I actually think it's in this particular case, when the diva drops her bomb, always drop your shield to give your teammates a chance to survive, is what I'm trying to say. Because on the offset that the diva gets any kills with her mech, the fight's over. Do you understand what I'm saying, Nate? Right there and then. Now, we pushed in the payload. That's a win. But we absolutely could have dropped our shield for like 10 seconds there. And it would have helped not only you, but it would have helped your team as well. Okay?
Initiating match.
Chat, I'm so sorry. I actually have to take a piss. Chat, I have to take a piss. Let's call it a intermission break, okay? Let's call it an intermission break. I have to take a piss. Here. Chat, I have returned. Chat, I have returned. Ugh. Chat, CC Top is a classic, alright? I grew up on this music. It's pretty good. It's never a bad time for some fucking CC Top, you know what I'm saying? Oh, alright. Okay. I mean, you can enjoy boomer music without actually being a boomer, you know what I'm saying? Alright, let's go back to where we were. Chat, Chat, I have a question. Do you feel like my tips and tricks and me criticizing / giving alternatives is in a very, like, understandable manner? Like, am I being too complicated? Or does it feel very straightforward? Like, is it very straightforward so you guys are like, okay, I understand, this is very easy. Like, I'm trying not to dumb it down, but I am trying to make sure that everyone can understand the language that we're using, you know? It's actually very easy to understand. I like your teaching. Okay, good. Okay, good. The reality is, chat, if there's anything that is remotely confusing, all you need to do is ask in chat, and I literally do not mind helping people out. It's not an issue. Is Winston as strong as what it makes it seem? Winston has always been pretty strong, yes. Yes. In Owl, yeah, because he's really good with...
Five, four, three.
Progress is still progress.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Okay, so we're going for a cheeky flank.
Constructing my teleporter.
Okay, so I don't mind what just occurred. It's not an issue to me. I think I understand the idea behind why you did it. It's just the execution needs work, okay? Now, let me tell you one thing. If you jumped on the Kiriko there, right, after doing that cyber damage, if you jumped straight up, landed on top of her, right, and then you meleeed as soon as you landed, you would have killed the Kiriko there. No questions asked. She would have been dead. Because she had already used her Susu, and she had already used her teleport, because I heard that. That was a sound cue that I heard. If you did those two things, Kiriko would have died. Now, there seems to be a little bit of an issue when you're playing Winston, when it comes to understanding the distance of his leap, okay? Now, I really, actually, you know what? I'm gonna say this, chat. Remind me after this VoD is over to show a couple things in practice mode. Okay, just tell me, show things in practice mode, and I will understand. There's a couple tips and tricks that I can say that we can make it better. There are two things though. One, if you hold backwards as you do a leap, and you move your cursor slightly upwards, you will reduce how far you jump on Winston. You can position yourself a little bit better. And this is something that I see that you're having a pretty hard time with. I don't mind the flank. The flank actually kind of did exactly what it's supposed to do. The only problem is that while you were doing the flank, you lost one teammate, right? That's the only problem. If you can do that faster, okay, by all means. I'm not against it. But if you're going to do that, we need to make sure that we do leaps and melee combos upon landing. We have to. That's just a part of Winston's kit, and we need to utilize it. So just want to point that out. Okay. I don't mind the disengage, but there's literally no need for us to drop our shield here. No reason whatsoever. I understand why you did it, but you gotta look at the enemy team. They have a Sojourn, they have a Reaper, right? Sure, they have a Kiriko, Moira, and D.Va. There's not really that much burst damage coming out of this team, unless the Reaper is standing right next to you, which she didn't, and the Sojourn has a fully charged railgun or ultimate, and she doesn't have neither, right? So there's no need for us to drop the shield there. Instead, I'm okay with the disengage, but kind of like the good old times. The captain always goes down last with his ship. You understand what I'm saying? The captain should always be the last one to leave. And right now, the captain is the first one to leave. Does that make sense? Does that saying make sense to chat in any way? I would rather you try and use your cooldowns in a defensive manner to not just help yourself, but also help your team, right? Right now, we're the first one to leave. We only use our cooldowns for ourselves, and it kind of leaves our team quite vulnerable. Does that make sense to you? So I want to see what happens. I'm just bringing it up right now, so it's a little bit of a pointer to myself, but I kind of just want to make that point. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's fine. Okay. So, getting the soldier in there, jiggle peeking, I'm okay with that. That is completely fine. I'm okay with that. I think that was a great play. However, we then decide to walk straight into a Reaper. Okay? That's your biggest threat right there, the Reaper. He is your biggest threat out of every single character in the entire roster. Reaper is the one that you should be scared of the most, right? And we opted in to walk straight into his line of fire. Now, what if I told you that the entirety behind playing Winston against this comp is you separating yourself from the Reaper while still getting value? You know? What if I told you that? How would you play the game then? Because that's how you should be playing it, right? You need to find ways to get value, but also keeping the distance from the Reaper, right? Walking straight into his line of sight, into his effective range, is basically just giving him a free kill. You gotta ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I openly just walking straight into this guy? Why am I giving him a free kill? So you gotta ask yourself that question, right? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Should I be giving this Reaper a free kill, or should I make him work for it? I mean, obviously the former, right? We always want to make the enemy team work for value, right? We never want to give them free value, and this is kind of what we're doing when we're walking straight into a Reaper. Now, it might be a minuscule thing. The fight might be over, but to be honest, this was a 5v4 situation. You kill the Sojourn, it's a 5v4. Chance of you winning this if you stay alive is probably 80 to 90% probability. You walking into the Reaper and dying, you just made it 4v4. But the reality is, we just traded a DPS for the strongest role in the game. We traded Sojourn for a tank. And let me tell you, that is never worth it. That is never worth it. So keep that in mind. However, I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm going to give you some outs, okay? After the Sojourn dies, right, we want to avoid the damage from the Reaper as much as humanly possible, right? We're standing right here. We're currently getting healed. Now, here's the thing. Here's what you need to understand. You currently have Hansel sitting on the payload, so they're not going to push the payload in. He's not in imminent danger right now, okay? When we died, we had our shield as well, okay? So when we effectively kill the Sojourn here, we're in a fantastic position. You have a Kiriko up top there. You have your second DPS right there. You have your Hansel stepping on the payload, and you have a Moira right behind you. Because you're worth it. So, what would I like you to do instead? Two things. You kill the Sojourn, it's great. Now we can start thinking about how we win the fight. Now, how do we win it? Well, we gotta isolate the supports, okay? As of right now, the pressure is on us to make a move. It is. Fuck. Chat, we got ads. Can someone write in the chat that we're waiting for the non-subs, dude? I don't want to be an asshole. I feel like educational content should be for everyone, so I kind of want to wait for the ads. Let's just play some bangers in the meantime. Let's just play some bangers in the meantime, and I'll hold my feedback for when the ads are over. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the ads are over, because no one's saying anything, so I'm gonna assume. Let's go back. So, what were we talking about? Yeah, so we're in a great position. We killed the Sojourn, but then we kind of walked into the Reaper and died with cooldowns up, okay? So, there are two things. The Hanzo is on the payload. We can actually stand here and get healed by the Moira. That's fine. What you can do is that you can start spamming your right click onto the D.Va to gain ult charge, right? You just fucking spam right click. You just find ways to get ultimate charge all the time. And as this is happening, your leap is already available to you. And once you're full HP, I would actually like if you, jumped up here instead. You take an angle here, you jump up here, you're with your Kiriko, and right here, you can just fucking zap them from above. Right? If the Reaper then decides to go for you and stand right under you, okay, fair enough. Then we can just walk over here and drop down here, and now we're on the payload. Oh, the Reaper's coming at you again? Okay, drop a shield. Oh, the Reaper's walking into the shield? Okay, walk out of the shield. Oh, he's walking out of the shield? Walk into the shield. Oh, he's walking into the shield? Walk out of the shield. You see what I'm saying here? You see what I'm saying? There are so many ways that you could play this differently. And we chose to choose the most non-optimal way of actually handling the situation. So while I am a little bit, what's the word? While I am a little bit harsh, I do think it's necessary for this particular case because I feel like, a little bit of tough love will go a long way here, I think. So the way we decided to play that was not good, and we had a huge advantage, and we kind of threw it away. The thing you should know as a tank player, Nate, is that it is never, ever a good trade to swap an enemy team's DPS for your life as a tank. So we need to avoid that at every single cost. Okay? That is a blanket statement that works at any rank in this game. Never ever swap your life as a tank for a DPS. It is never worth it. Literally never. You are the most valuable asset to your team. Tanks are mega broken. They are the most impactful role in the game. And we never ever want to put ourselves in a situation where we're trading with a DPS. Try and keep that in your mind when you play tank, and you will slowly and surely start playing a lot smarter.
Your end is within my cannot escape me.
It's never too late to try again.
Gale the Mahal.
Surrender to my will.
Let the dragon consume you.
Reality bends to my will.
We're going back to right? Oh, hell yeah.
Then strikes him down.
Okay. You get shot?
The dragon rages within me.
Fuck that pole. Fuck it. Yo, chat, when I went to the bathroom, I decided to open the fridge and grab myself an ice-cold Coke. A little Coca-Cola, dude. Today, I don't give a fuck, dude. I wanted myself a Coke and I got it. Okay. Good aggression. So, the Moira is trying to heal you, right? But we can play this smarter. Once again, I want to bring this up. Once again, I know that we're kind of like beating almost a dead horse here, right? But the reality of the situation here, right? We're going to slow this down a little bit. I actually don't mind you going for the Kiriko in this case. I don't. I actually think this is the right play to make. I'm actually on board with the play itself. It's good. It's good target priority. But let's just slow this down, and I'll talk you through it, okay? So right now, we're at 450 HP. We're hitting the Kiriko. The Kiriko's about to go down. Boom. Here she goes. Okay.
A taste of poison.
Now, we're standing here, and the biggest threat is to our left. The Sojourn and the Reaper, and to your right is your least threat, the Moira, okay? The Moira is not going to do enough damage to kill you. You have 350 HP. But turning your back to both enemy teams' DPS is going to kill you, okay? What I would have liked you to do here, you're already in a pretty bad spot, in my opinion. This is a terrible position to be in. But if you're going to make it out of here alive, you need to move your shield directly to the DPS and just tank the damage from the Moira and try and get out of the situation alive. But what ends up happening? We start swinging towards the Moira while opening up our back to both the enemy team's DPS. And already doing one swing, we've already lost 100 HP. Now, we're doubling down on this, and we're trying to swing for the Moira one more time. Now we've lost another 100 HP. At this point, we should have shielded 200 HP ago. Okay? Now, we pull up the shield, and we're at 72 HP. Now we're doing what we should have done from the first time we got the kill. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Now we're doing the play that we should have done 200 HP ago. But now it's too late, because the Moira will be able to kill you with 72 HP. Do you understand how small micro adjustments will make a really bad play a better play, if that makes sense, right? Right now, the Moira is sucking you dry. Exactly, right. This needed to happen 200 HP ago, because now we're too late, right? Now, the only way you're getting out of this situation is if the Kiriko is alive, which she's not, right? Oh, sorry, she is. And where's Kiriko in comparison to where you are right now? Where's your Kiriko? Nowhere to be found. It's you and the Moira, right? And the Moira's DPSing, because that's what Moiras do, right? So unfortunately, the play was right. It was just 200 HP too late. And we're dead. We are dead, chat. Unlucky.
I can take more than that. That was on purpose.
Okay, here's the Reaper. We don't need to chase here. You know what? We're gonna pretend that never happened. We're gonna pretend that never happened. I don't know what just happened. It was a giant snake who pulled you down, and it is what it is. Snakes are deadly. Okay, let's see this. Yep, it's okay to hold your shield here. No. Okay, so in this particular case, you had a play to make, and we talked about this prior, right? And basically, you're walking up, you're at 90% HP, you're taking a little bit of damage, you get a little bit scared, you move backwards. Okay, I understand it. However, you can literally stand here for days. Here, look, you have this thing right here. You have this pillar, and you're blocking the payload from going in by standing here. And you can hold your red shield for fucking an eternity while your Symmetra is doing work in the back line, and, you know, your supports have a direct line of sight with you as well. There's no need for us to move backwards here, right? This is the play. Instead, we get scared, we move backwards, and they push the payload in for free. I don't like this. I think this is a positional error, and we really, really got to be a little bit better and more mindful of where we are in comparison to where the payload is, you know? Like, we talked about this on attack. Now the pressure is on us, right? Now we're the ones who have to stop the payload from moving, and we're not doing a very good job at it, right? So, we talked about this prior. We need to start using what the map is giving us, right? These boxes will not break. They will take whatever amount of damage is necessary, and they work as an extra shield for you, right? And if your supports aren't healing you, well, at least you're making the right play. I understand why you move backwards, but, you know, the reality is we have 80 to 90% HP. There's no need for us to run just yet, you know? And I would have liked for you to hold your shield here and play it patiently. And if you really, really had to, it's okay to start swinging because we're 80% on ultimate. So what is that? 3 swings? On the offset that you might hit someone twice, or 2 targets, that means you have a shatter. That shatter might change the entire outcome of the fight and you win. So, kind of just want to point that out. A little bit of a positional error there. Oh. Close, but no cigar. Okay. There's a Reaper behind us right now. Shatter? Okay. 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 Nice. Little beautiful 4K. Fucking let him cook, chat. Let him fucking cook. Right now, okay? I'm gonna point this out. Right now, Nate, the absolute best position that you can be in, okay? This is something that a lot of players in Overwatch do not think about, and this is something that you can abuse the living shit out of, right? Again, we're kind of running down a Reaper right now, which is kind of dangerous in itself, but when you win a fight like this, you want to take space, okay? If you position yourself right here, right? This right here, and you fucking jiggle peek fire strikes left and right, you just play right here, you'll become the most annoying fucking cunt on planet Earth. And they have to deal with you, right? They have to deal with you. Because if they don't, you're just gonna start fucking swinging your fucking, you know, your mace around the corner and hit targets behind the walls, and they're like, fucking hell, man, I just want to fucking get through. This is god tier positioning right now, and there's no reason for us to give this up. And if they decide to go for you, fucking flick your mouse over there and charge, and you're in safe, right? This is god tier positioning, and we should never give this up for anything, right? This works because everyone who is not like a super high rank in this game will subject themselves to getting staggered. Trust me when I say this. Like, you could probably, by this positioning, build another entire ultimate of just swinging these fucking corners left and right. And if they do go for you, hold your shield, get healed, and then move backwards with it, right? I don't like you chasing the Reaper here. I understand why you do it, though, but there is a limit. So we'll see if you back off or if you continue. Okay, we back off. It's good. Oh my god, man, this makes me so proud to see, dude. It's like watching my fucking child start walking for the first time. Oh! 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 Okay. This is a little bit too aggressive. Okay, this is too much aggression. Okay. Now, I want to talk about something we talked about on the second point on defense. Or sorry, on offense, right? There's no need for us to be this aggressive, okay? I like the aggression, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to play it like this, we need to be smarter, okay? When I say smarter, I mean we need to use what the map gives us once again. Standing here, right in front of their faces, in front of their spawn, literally gives them the opening to go behind you and in front of you. There's no winning here. There's literally no winning. You're not going to build an ultimate. You're just going to die like a sack of potatoes, right? So how do we play this better? If you really, really want to play like this, why don't we just opt in to do what we said? We play over here instead, right? Now, you have 2 choke points that you can guard, right? They want to take a far right, well, they're subjective to dying to your DPS. They want to take a far left, okay, then you see all of them. If they want to go through any of the chokes, well, you'll build a fucking shatter, and you probably fatty shetty them, and you win that fight, okay? So, this is way better. You did exactly what I wanted you to do, just in a different location. I would have liked you to do what you did there, but playing here instead. This angle, right here. If you want to play that aggressive, and it looks to me like you do, we need to be smarter where we're standing, okay? We need to think about what's behind us, we need to think about what's in front of us, and what's to our sides. Right now, all you're doing is going straight up to them, swinging your fucking big dick around, and you're taking damage from all sides. I'm okay with you swinging your fucking hammer around and being a Giga Chad. I have no quarrel with that. But you need to be smarter about where you're positioning yourself when you do this, okay? Right now, you're not even leaving anything for chance. You're not even giving your healers an opportunity to actually keep you alive. We need to work on that, okay? I don't mind the big dick, but you need to always have a line of sight to your healers. Try and remember that. We already have Zeke's. We mentioned it.
What's next? We are fewer in number, but greater in spirit.
Yeah, it's like what Tiger Woods said, you know, when he won his first tournament. A sugar cake is not tasty without sugar. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. I would have said back off here, honestly. But then again, there's a chance you get staggered. So I'm not entirely against you dying prematurely there. We lost the point. No spoilers! No spoilers! Fucking crazy! Shield, shield up, shield up, shield up, shield up! I mean, the shatter was fine. It wasn't bad. You needed to put your shield up though when the D.Va bomb is there. Okay?
3-3. Switching sides.
Devix. Dropping a 6-monther. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hey chat. Today we're playing Katana Zero. After we're doing the Overwatch today. Chat wanted Katana Zero, so I'm giving them Katana Zero. We're playing that. I've never played Katana Zero before. All I heard is it's a very good game, and people got mad that I never played it, so we're playing it after Overwatch today. Bait? No, not bait. We're playing Katana Zero later today. That's a promise.
No unnecessary risks.
People have been telling me that the game is fucking goated, and it's a crime that I haven't played it, so we're playing it tonight. And that's it. If I don't play it tonight, I will give chat 50 subs. Fuck it. If I don't play it tonight, I'll give chat 100 subs. How about that?
After this, I need a peer review of my new paper on Markington particles. No dying during the mission.
5, 4,
I'll speedrun it. It's a jam. Better impress me. Well, I've never played it before, so I have no idea. Okay, I want to see how you play this. Okay, I want to talk about two things. There's one way we can win this fight outright. All right? And before I say that, chat, how do we win this? Let me go to free cam and let me go up a little bit. Let's see if chat has learned anything from my teachings. How can we win this fight literally outright according to their positioning? How do we do this? Let's see. Be a little bit more specific, Charms. Jump high ground and then what? Be a little bit more specific. Kill enemy. Okay, a little bit more specific. So, what is king in this game? What is the absolute best positioning that you can have in this game? Above all. Where is that? What is the number one thing that wins you games? High ground. Exactly. And which platform are we jumping to create the most space and do the most damage here? Is it this one? Is it that one? Or is it this one over there? Which one do we go to? The balcony. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That is completely right. When you realize that the entirety of the enemy team is playing low ground, no one is high ground. The Reaper literally just jumped off high ground, right? It gives us the knowledge that the only counter that can stop us on high ground has now left high ground, okay? The only way he's going to get back up is by teleporting. And if he's teleporting, you can hear it, so you can react to it, right? The Echo somehow suicided. I'm not entirely sure. Suicided in a video game, chat, okay? Don't clip that out of context. Now, Nay, I'm going to give you a little trick. There's one thing that will single-handedly win you games in this kind of ranks, okay? And that is positioning. I've said this before. This game is legitimately 50% positioning, 25% aim, 25% game knowledge, all right? 50% of your games are going to be won by you having good positioning. And there's a way for you to literally win this fight outright. You're playing a 5v4. You're opting into jump the div on the ground. I don't like this. And I'm explaining this to you why. If you waited a little bit longer on the payload, you aimed your mouse cursor higher up, you jumped up here, look at the amount of space that you have to operate with. What are they going to do? What the fuck are they going to do? The Moira had to use a shift. The Brig used her flail. We saw it and we heard it. The Reaper jumped off high ground. No one is going to stop you. You can literally sit up here, look down on them, hold left click, and just build an ultimate for free. They have to respect your damage. They have to. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna move away, right? And they're gonna move away over here. That gives us this entire hallway for free. And all you did was jump high ground. That was it. You literally jumped high ground and you got this entire length for free. Right? So try and keep that in mind. When you play tanks, you have the ability to manipulate high ground and low ground constantly like a Winston does. Jumping high ground here will single-handedly put so much pressure on the enemy team that they have to respect you and they have to move away. Right? So keep that in mind. High ground is king. Always. Moira, when she uses shift and she ends up in front of you, Moira is always going to be the priority target. Okay? If a Moira engages with her shift, right, which she did right here, you jump her always. A Moira without a shift dies for free, right? And if this Moira is going to be cocky and shift like this, where it literally does nothing, you help your Reaper, you jump on the Moira, and as you land on her, you melee and then you start sapping straight away. No questions asked. If they're gonna use their cooldowns like this, like a bunch of fucking idiots, you punish that straight away. You literally punish it, no questions asked. You jump on the Moira and you fucking annihilate her, right? You stomp her like she's an ant. I like the target priority though. It's good that you go for the support first. Good aggression. Take the health pack. Take the health. Okay. Could have taken the health pack there. It would have healed you to full, and you probably would have survived that. But it's a small thing. It's map knowledge. Comes with time.
I am outstanding.
The way is clear. 10 seconds remaining.
We're running out of time.
Payload has reached the checkpoint.
Kind of a dance? It looked like an attempt at a shield dance, chat. At least it did to me.
Symmetra.
Reality bends to my will.
Maybe we win this. Okay, your Reaper's doing work. Good. Use your shield. Good. Should have meleeed there, but that's okay. Don't need to use your leap there at all. It's 4 versus 1. You don't need to use your leap just to escape there. Oh my god. Could have used any pillar, any wall, even the payload to survive ourselves from dying there.
Complete.
Need to be a little bit smarter. We've died to the Diva Bomb like 4 times. 4 times.
To 4.
We need to be a little bit smarter. Chat, remember the practice range after this VoD, okay? I was out of shield. Yeah, but you could have jumped behind the pillar instead and not died to the ultimate. Plat gameplay? Honestly, I think this is Masters. Judging by what I've seen thus far. A little bit rocky at the start, but, you know. Chat just doesn't understand that you dying before the gates even open is just a master strategy to confuse the enemy team. It's a master strategy.
Ready.
Better world
Not Pepe sus at all.
today. Let's get this mission started.
We're setting up the legendary flank.
I will see this task completed.
Or... Oh. Or the legendary Giga Chat
Stay
play.
close. I can't hear
Now
you
this is
if you're
content.
straight.
5, 4, 3,
Damage output increase.
Okay. Got a kill. 5v4. Gotta be mindful with the I would not leap there. I mean, you guys are doing a lot of damage to him. Like... Yep. Jump. Son of a bitch, it's working. Son of a bitch.
Quantifiable results.
Now, this is fucking batshit crazy. What's going on right now? All right, it's just this. I'm not. I'm not gonna put it any other way. This is just batshit fucking crazy, and it's kind of interesting that it's working. The only point of feedback that I have for you is that you wait so long between your jumps on Winston, and you're losing out on so much damage and so much ult charge by not utilizing the leap at all. Right? That's the major concern that I have in this particular case. There are many characters that are, should I say, many heroes that are kind of like, you know, running left, running right. And, you know, they have like 20% HP. And you really need to start isolating those kills with the leap, right? And if you're playing this aggressive positioning, there's no need to save leap, in my opinion. You have your entire team behind you. If you die, the entire team dies anyways. And if you're going to hold this aggressive, you might as well go all in. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only point of feedback that I have, is that I don't see enough jumping from you right now. Other than that, it's okay. It's not bad, but... in theory, this should not be working, but fuck it, it is. I'm gonna ask my Winston to do this next time I play this map. Also, when you have your ultimate up, you can leap like probably like 50% more than you can in your normal form. That entire ultimate, we didn't jump a single time. I would like you to get people in a corner and start fucking leaping like a fucking idiot. Like, be an actual gorilla, because you're missing out on so much AoE damage that you could be doing extra. It's kind of like the same concept as when a player would do, like, you know, they pop overcock on Sojourn, right? And they only wait for the railgun to charge on his own. But the reality is, if you're spamming left click in between railgun shots, you can probably get away with getting almost 4 extra railgun shots, as if you weren't doing that. So, this is something I want to point out, because you're not doing it, and it's a small thing, but it's a thing nonetheless. It's another thing to think about. Better. Much better. Saved you and your team from dying from that bomb there, so that was much better. Can we get a poggers? Can we get a poggers? That was massive. Hey, Uni.
Right by you.
Yo, what's up, Zout? How you doing, buddy? Okay, let's see how you guys handle this. A Reaper died there, but we traded. Oh, gotta watch out for the window from Bap. This is so monka. Could have leaped on the Baptiste there for a free kill. We win those.
My condolences.
Okay. Well, Nate, I did point out a lot in that VoD. A lot, right? And I feel like if I were to go and give you more now, it gets to a point where there's an information overload. So whatever you've been hearing throughout the VoD is what I want you to prioritize for now. I think that there's a lot I can tell you. There's a lot more that I can bring up. But I honestly believe that there's a thing called diminishing returns. And I do think that whatever I brought up in the VoD is what you should be focusing on the most. Okay? Now, that being said, I am going to give you a couple tips, okay? I'm going to give you... We're going into the lab, my boy, all right? Now, I want to give you some tips, okay? It goes against my better judgment to help tank players, because fuck them all. However, they are necessary, okay? And there's a couple tips I'm going to provide to you. one thing is, and I noticed this when you're playing Ryan, right? Is that you don't know how to cancel the charge, right? See what I just did there?
Land on something soft.
See what I just did there? Well, what you opt in to do is this, right? Well, you charge and then you die with it. And when you charge, you can actually cancel your charge at any time. And all you need to do is press the same button that you charge with and you press again and then it cancels, right? So when you brought those characters off the edge, right? If you time it, you can throw them off the edge, you get a kill, and you stay alive, right? So there's a little bit of an outplay to it. You don't always have to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. Now, if you're doing it on a target like, say, Farah, right? If you're charging her, and you're not going all the way down with her, she can just press shift, and she can avoid dying, right? So when you, for example, charge a Farah, it is vital that if you hit her, that you bring her all the way down. Because she will be able to fly out of there before you can kill her, right? So that's okay. But when you're playing as a character that don't have the possibility, and they can't do that, say hypothetically, I don't know, say you're up against a Roadhog is a great example, right? If you get him like this, and you stop the charge, boom, free kill on the tank, and you stop yourself from dying, right? Now, another thing I want to point out is, you don't seem to understand kind of the range of how long your hammer actually reaches, right? It reaches very fucking far, right? Very, very far. And there's one thing a lot of people don't understand about the hammer as well, is that this fucking hammer will literally go through walls, right? And once you start understanding kind of how it works, you can start manipulating your position versus where the enemy team is, right? Once you start figuring out how far your hammer actually reaches, you can start doing like some real fucking crazy shit, like hitting people through a wall like this and still be around cover, right? And that is one thing that you should really understand, that one of the strongest tools Ryan has to his disposal is that when you're around a corner, you have an entire team in front of you and you have like a diva standing here, like literally doing something like this will actually hit the diva while still blocking any damage from the enemy team from hitting you, right? And then boom, shatter, insta dead, right? So that is something I want to point out. It's very, very powerful. It's an incredibly powerful tool with Reinhardt, where you can basically utilize walls and tight corners like this. That's for Ryan. Now for Monkey, right?
A better world
So
is possible
when you
today.
jump on the target, it was quite clear to me that you do something like this, and you don't stop yourself, right? You do not stop yourself. It's just, that's it. That's what you do, right? You'll jump, and that's it. But the reality is, we can manipulate how far we go by just holding backwards. See that? Same cursor placement, same everything. The only difference is that I'm holding backwards as I'm doing the jump. See what I'm saying? So by holding backwards as we jump, we go less. It's a little bit confusing at first, but once you start getting the hang of it, it's very simple. Basically, you just hold backwards as you leap. And the leap goes less. Right? Now, if I don't hold backwards and I hold the same angle, this is what happens. See what I'm saying? So, you can manipulate that. Another way is, you need to aim a little bit higher up when you're going onto something. Right now, a lot of the time, you'll stand like this, and you'll do something like this, right? You'll have your cursor right there, you hit the corner, and you get stuck, right? Now, if we aim our cursor a little bit higher up, all of a sudden, we get to where we want to go, right? So a lot of the time, you would do something like this. You put your cursor straight over, you hit the corner, and boom, you fall down. So what you want to start doing is when you have it like this, do something like this. Just flick it a little bit. It's a tad little touch, you know? Like a little touch, like a little flicky, you know? Boop. See what I'm saying? Doesn't have to be extreme. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just a little subtle touch, you know? Like a little boop. Because right now we're not doing that. Right now what you're doing is just like this, boom. And then being stuck in this position without a leap usually leads to death, which is not good. So I kind of want to point that out as well. Thank you so much. That's all good. Now, let's talk about the thing that you didn't do. Not a single time in the game. Watch this, okay? Here's a Moira. She used shift, right? This is us jumping on her. That's how much HP we did on her, right? We did about 1.5 bars, okay? 1.5 bars is what we did. Now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna land with melee. Well, no, she... Okay, well.
Watch your step.
So 1.5 bars versus... almost half HP. Do you see the difference? By literally just landing on the target like you did, and then utilizing melee afterwards. Do you see the difference? It's so much more. And every leap that you did, you missed out on that damage on every single target that you did. Right? And let me give you a pro tip. You want to know how to easily remember how to melee? Mouse button 4. Because your thumb is always on the button anyways. Right? Literally, mouse button 4. You do that, it becomes super easy. Right? And, like, it's just so much extra damage. And you know what the best part is? It's AoE. It's literally AoE. So, if there's a group of people that you jump on like this, right? And there are like 3 of them, you'll hit them all with the same combo. For free. Instead of just, you know, leaping on them and just doing the initial leap damage. Now, one thing we never saw either is this. Never once did you right click like this. Now, it's not a lot of damage, right? It's not. It's not great, right? It's kind of weak. But the reality is, this, over the course of an entire game, is probably an additional ultimate that you're missing out on. You understand what I'm saying? So, we should never say no to free ult charge, you know? And the last thing I want to bring up is, when we used ultimate, we never once leaped. Instead, this is what we do. That's all fine and dandy, but what if we start leaping like a fucking maniac instead? You know? Can I get what I'm saying?
Looks like they fell for it.
You're missing so much extra damage that you could be getting by not, you know, doing both of them at the same time. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully you become a better tank player for it. I think that if you integrate the tips that we talked about in the VoD, I think you'll have a lot more fun. And I think that you become a much better player. I don't think that, you know, you're going to start ranking up like a madman, you know, overnight. But with the tips I gave you, is you should absolutely start climbing the ranks a little bit, you know? And also, the last thing I want to point out, high ground is king.
Love watching your at iddqd.
Yeah, love watching you. Thank you, Zamwan. Appreciate you. Always, if you can, for whatever reason, Nate, for any reason whatsoever, if you're playing a character like Winston, always, and I say this always, abuse high ground. Always. If you can abuse high ground, we do it. You want to know why? Because if you're on high ground, you can just leap down on people like this, and if you start taking too much damage, okay, then run away. You see what I'm saying? You would rather be on high ground, see a target, and then do something like this. Oh, okay, you're taking a lot of damage? Okay, I'm out. You see what I'm saying? Now we're safe, and we didn't have to use a cooldown to get to where we wanted to go. High ground is always better on anything in the entire game. Always going to be the best. Hopefully that helps, my dude. Hopefully chat enjoyed that. And yeah, that was fun. Thank you.